Hey everybody, Aaron Blaise here, and it is Tuesday, June 2nd, and we are back for another live stream to make some art. And man, back during some crazy times, I'll tell you what. It's viruses and civil unrest and all kinds of crazy stuff happening over here. But eventually things will get better. They definitely will. I had as many of you, I'm sure, are aware, we've had a lot of civil unrest here in the United States for the killing of George Floyd. It was kind of the igniter for a lot of protests and everything that's happening. And I can't sit by and be quiet. I as an artist, with a platform, with an ability to say something that might affect people in some way or another, especially in a unique way. As artists, I feel like this is just something I want to get off my chest for everyone that's out there, and especially for young people, because I do think it's important. That we do have voices, and that we do have a unique voice in the way that we are artists. And that, to me, creating art isn't just creating pretty pictures. A lot of the times it is. 99% of the time it is. But 1% of the time, or 5% of the time, it's making people think. It's making people see the world in a different way. And you could argue that, me doing some kind of political based image won't change people's minds. Maybe it won't, but it might make people think differently, or it might make people see the world differently. And the reason I'm bringing this up is, over the last couple of days, I cannot sit by idly and not create with a theme of what's happening right now, to have some kind of statement through my art and put it out there for the world to see. And yes, it's my opinion, and if you don't like it, you don't have to agree with it. You can move on, you can unfollow me, you can do whatever you want. But I would encourage you to go and do your own and make your own statements. But I've definitely gotten some backflack. Afflack. I've gotten some backlash, a fair amount, for people that are just appalled that I'm, quote, meddling in politics. And people losing their lives, people of color losing their lives regularly here in the United States for years, and standing up finally and saying, no, this is not right, this is going to stop. For that to happen, to me to comment on it in support of it, it's not meddling in politics. That's meddling. It's not meddling. It's supporting lives. It's supporting good. Now, you can debate me on it, and that's fine. But I've had so many people on Twitter and on Instagram and on Facebook and all these things that say, hey, why are you meddling in politics? And so I want to express why. And we get a lot of, well, that's I'm unfollowing you. Okay, that's great. And I just say thank you very much, and they move on, and that's life. But and I had somebody come by and say, hey, why would you do this? Why would you put your viewpoint out there when you know it's going to split your audience and you're just going to lose business? Well, first of all, we're doing okay. Second of all, I'm not going to let my life and what I say to the world and my opinions be driven by my wallet, by my drive for the dollar. That's not me. That's not the art of Aaron Blaise. That's not Creature Art Teacher. We've got something to say when we want to say it, and we will say it, and we will support the underdog. We will support those in need, Um, we will do what's right um, in the way that we see it, hopefully, and God willing that we have the clear vision to do it. But our whole business is based on doing the right thing, giving back, spreading knowledge. But sometimes in a state like this that we're in, it's also spreading support for what's right. And this is what we feel is right. And so, anyway, I just wanted to get that off my chest. Thank you. Thank you very much. But I just, I felt the need to get that out there. But anyway, today, we are going to be doing Request Day. Why? Because I couldn't think of anything else. I couldn't think of anything else. Nick just suggested I should show the image I created yesterday. I'm not going to. I don't think. I'm going to do some more today. If you guys want to see the image I created yesterday, you can go to my Facebook page, you can go to my Twitter account, or you can go to my Instagram. It's up there. I am going to start cleanly today, and I've got an idea for another image I want to do today. But I feel like I'm going to, I just want to start the day non-confrontational, controversial, and we're just going to start doing some nice pictures today. That's what we're going to do this morning, and the heck with it. I'm going to show you what I did yesterday. So
somebody's asking, can you do a shark or a horse?
A shark or a horse? A shark horse NATO.
Also, Erica Bay says good morning.
Good morning, Erica. So this is an image I created yesterday, and my intent was, rather than creating a wall keeping people out on our southern borders, why don't we create a wall of solidarity? And so that's what this is. It's creating a wall of solidarity, of like-minded people coming together and protecting each other, screaming and demanding equal treatment, equal sight in society, to be seen as equal. That's the idea behind this quick little sketch that I did yesterday. And like I said, as artists, I think we have, it's been artists and revolutionaries, and not to put myself in a revolutionary category, but it's a lot of times it's those people that are able to make the change, that are able to get people to see things differently, to spark a reaction. And I feel strongly about that. You know, there's not a lot I can do, you know, sitting here in Central Florida as a 52-year-old fat guy just sitting in my office. But I do have an ability to draw. I do have an ability to take ideas and manifest them in a way that can get people to think. And like I said, whether or not you agree with me is not the idea. To me, it's just to get you to see a point of view that I'm putting out there. Now, if you disagree with it, then do another one and show me your point of view. I get a lot of, I've got so much flack from people that just get disgusted and they're gone. And that's your right, and that's fine, but maybe not, you know, maybe try doing something else. So anyway, so there's the image, and I'm going to keep doing them, and there you go. And we're also creating a new now onto birds of prey. These are a couple of images from yesterday. We're working on ospreys right now, and so here's our profile and front view of an osprey. We're going to be doing 3/4 or later on after the stream. But we are really building up a big library of images for our birds of prey, aren't we?
Oh yeah, it's going to be huge.
It's going to be such a giant course. It's gotten way out of hand, but we're getting there.
It's gonna be huge.
It's going to be huge. So, suggestion: Hulk Hogan bear, mech robot, a shark horse. Man,
Well, I think the shark horse was a shark oral horse, or was that a different comment?
I don't know. But you know what I'm going to do? Once you say hi, real quick, I've got my trusty Dusty over here, and we got Nick Birch in Sarasota.
Hi.
I got to get some water because my mouth is super dry.
How is everybody out there?
Talk about your photo pack.
Oh yeah, so I got my reference pack for anybody that has not seen it yet out on creatureartteacher.com. There it is right here. It's got over 600 photos that you can look through. And it's on creatureartteacher.com in its own little area of photo reference packs, so you should be able to find it very easily. And in there, got alligators, North American otters, common egrets, great blue herons, little songbirds of palm warblers and Savannah sparrows, so many others. It is a huge pack, and it made sure that they're extra sharp, different poses, in flight, on the ground, in the water, all these different situations and environments that I think you guys would be very, very happy to use for artwork. And if you do the artwork, I would love to see what you guys make. And so on Instagram, you can tag me at Dustin_Blaise on my Instagram. If you make any art and post it online, I would love to see what you make. And so yeah, that's what I got.
Right on.
Right on, brother.
So let's get rid of this guy right now. For now. Save. All right, so let's do a new one here. 20 by 16. Oh, let's do 18 by 24, and we're going to do that vertical. For you folks watching on Instagram, we're going to do this vertical for you.
Vertical.
Vertical.
Vertical. It doesn't. What about a live stream / course about shooting reference photos for artists? That would be an interesting subject. I think
No.
we're making. Well, okay, I'll shut up now. No, but I think we're plans for sometime next year to make a course about basics of photography and things like that.
A centaur.
A centaur.
YouTube suggestion, a centaur. Ooh. But let's just do it as the front end of a horse on a human body.
So I was asking a George Floyd portrait.
I got something different I'm going to do afterwards. I'm going to keep the I love the idea, and I appreciate the sentiment, and I love that you guys are supporting that my sentiment today. But I kind of want to do that kind of stuff to myself, and I want to keep we'll keep this stuff a little bit more lighthearted. And so, thank you for that suggestion, though. I'm liking the idea of the centaur. That can be kind of cool. Got an idea. I got a couple of ideas there. What else you got? You have anything over there?
Pink rhino.
A pink rhino.
The giants of the sea hanging out together, such as like manta ray, whale shark, giant turtle.
Pink rhino. I like the pink rhino. A pink rhino.
Two complete opposite predators standing or swimming together. Hidden message, for what's going on right now. A shark horse, a different interpretation of a sight.
I've been drawing Twitch questions. I've been drawing chickens. Do you have any tips for drawing feathers with traditional medium colored pencil? Drawing feathers really comes down to look at those values. Look at you got feathers that do a couple of different things. They either lay on top of each other, in which you're just really drawing the shape of the feather and the color differences between them. You're going to have feathers that the barbs separate a little bit, so you're going to see that. Then you're going to have feathers that are lifted off of one another, like when a bird fluffs or when the feathers get roughed up. And then you're going to see shadows underneath them, and that'll show the depth. So those are things that you're going to want to look out for, but it really comes down to looking at value, and value meaning light and dark, and then your color temperatures.
I'm suggesting a mafia dog.
Mafia dog.
Mosasaurus Rex.
A dinosaur, please. You know, we get tons of requests for dinosaurs, don't we?
Yeah, well, this one's asking for a cyborg dinosaur.
Well, this is what we're going to do, because I really don't know dinosaurs at all. I mean, I know something about them, but I really don't know. So I'm going to try doing a, what should I try drawing? A T-Rex?
Yeah, that would be good.
Out of my head. I won't look at anything. I'm just going to try to make it up.
Just your personal interpretation of a T-Rex.
Of a T-Rex. Should we do it as a cartoon? Like a caricature?
Yeah. Did you see the SpaceX launch?
I did. I saw it on Facebook. So I'm drawing a dinosaur.
Alright, suggestions are officially over.
Shutting up, sir.
Shitty issue. Anybody have any questions out there? Any questions for me to relay? Sure. Amen. A T-Rex like the one in Toy Story? What about a T-Rex interpretation based on animals you know? About like a mashup.
Like what?
A T-Rex, but like a form of T-Rex, but it's all mashed up of different animal bases.
No, I'm just doing this one.
Have y'all been building anything else, Erica's asking?
We have not. Well, I'm putting siding on our shed right now.
Will you ever do a hyena tutorial?
At some point, yeah, because we're going to be doing some African animals.
What watercolor sketchbook do you use?
I don't use watercolor sketchbooks. I just bring out watercolor blocks when I paint in watercolor, and they are arches, watercolor blocks. Here's an example. If I can get this out without crushing everything. Here's an example right here. So it's a watercolor block, meaning it's sealed all the way around, so when you paint on it, it won't buckle. And this one happens to be a rough texture, but you can get hot press, which is a smooth texture, cold press, which is a rough texture, and then variations of roughness. This one's an extra rough. I like the way that the color bleeds and everything with that. But that's what I do there. Samurai mantis. Ooh. I like.
Do you know what the Wacom 16 inch is like?
Yeah, I have one. Is that the Wacom 1?
The Wacom one is the 13 inch.
No, it's the 16.
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought it was 13.
Pretty sure. Pretty sure.
Pretty sure, dear, but. How was the boat trip?
Oh, it was great. It's always nice getting out on the water.
It was a blast. I got burnt. We all got burnt though.
Oh man, we got fried.
Shoulders are still red.
I'm pretty proud of our little town here, and not to keep bringing up social issues, but I'm going to. They're planning a little protest right here in our little town tonight. We're all going to be attending, and I think I'm hoping it stays peaceful. But, I'm really proud of our town for doing this.
How does he switch cameras?
Oh, it's magic. I have an electrode in my brain, and all I have to do is think, switch camera, and it does it.
If only that were a thing. Now I'm controlling it over here using this here Elgato Stream Deck.
Yes,
so I
back
have all the scenes programmed from the OBS software that we're using. And so all of these buttons that you see here are different cameras and different slides and all this stuff that I can go between. And so I push like say this button here, and we are on the desktop. If I push the what's called set cam, go back to the desktop. We go desktop without the camera, with camera. And it's just it makes everything more fluid, much easier to operate.
He's sniffing.
Will you do a future tutorial on how to draw raccoons?
Sure. Never thought about that one. A samurai mantis, a pirate serval cat.
Well, it looks like Dustin's using camera switching technology in a lift in Scotland.
So here, I'm using bird anatomy thoughts on this guy and the way that his head attaches. And then I think about just regular four-legged anatomy and human anatomy for the way his arms are attaching. And here I'm just I'm just going to draw him like so, because I want to focus on his expression.
Listen, I haven't gotten a 11 in forever. Well, I'm not gonna do it.
11.
11. See what I did there?
Gosh, it's hot. Alright, so I want to focus on his expression now.
I still want to see Aaron draw mech robots.
Well, I'm terrible at doing mechanical stuff. I guess I could.
Yes, you can. I remember some of your artwork from back in high school. Back in your high school, like your old stuff.
And where is that stuff? Because most of that was destroyed in the fire. Oh, I had a couple things left over that I did right before college, didn't I? Oh, I gave those to you.
Yeah, one. No, you gave me one. I don't know what happened to it though.
See that you really like my art, huh?
I did. I think I had it among my other my art. Hey, Aaron.
Hey, how's it going, eh?
How's it going, bud? What kind of brush do you use to do sketches? It's a custom brush or a common one? Love your work.
This is a custom brush. And you can get this brush on my website. If you sign up for my newsletter, you can get it there. Or you can go, if you want the entire set that this comes from, you can get it for $1, the entire set, on my website at creatureartteacher.com, and it's my custom brush set #1. So here I'm just trying to have a good time with his expression.
Any chance for a robotic arm or eye on this dinosaur?
A robotic arm or eye?
Or
No, very little chance actually. Yeah. YouTube comment, not to be that guy, but you will be. But the Tyrannosaurus arms need face the same way to that of birds. Okay, awesome. Thank you for the suggestion. I will actually do that. That's a good suggestion. See, remember I said I don't know dinosaurs that much. I do know they're related to birds, so I should have known that we should get their arms in there like a bird. Let's do that.
you want to chuck some of your heat this way? Feel free.
Do what? Whoops.
So chuck some of the heat that we're dealing with over their way.
Oh, you mean the weather heat?
Yes.
Uh,
It is rather warm here.
I'm just going to bring it up here.
Did you guys hear that Cuphead is getting its own TV series? It's gonna be a similar to that of the Mickey Mouse shorts. I'm excited for it. I heard about it, but I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen anything on it yet. But I would love to watch that.
Maybe he's even got a couple of feathers coming out. Feathers coming.
You okay?
Feathers coming out.
Are you okay? Have you ever followed a Bob Ross tutorial?
I've watched Bob Ross. I've never followed it. I'm just going to do my own little fingers here. You can be that guy. That's okay. I'm just going to kind of do what I want to do on this one. Because it's a cartoon, baby. I can do whatever I want. But I do want some semblance of anatomical accuracy. But once again, I'm taking a stab in the dark at this. Actually, I like this better. I like this pose better.
Oh, with the arms are tucked?
Yeah. I've got to do it like a bird.
You
Bird,
mentioned
bird, bird. Bird is a word.
You mentioned his head is from a bird anatomy. Why not a reptile's anatomy?
Well, because dinosaurs are more related to most of the a lot of the dinosaurs are more related to birds, and T-Rex was more related to birds. They're kind of built like a chicken if you look at the way the body's built. And so I'm just looking at the way the head relates to the neck, and the neck feeds into the body. And there's actually a lot of similarities between birds and reptiles too. The scleral bone, for instance.
Sclerable.
Which is the bone that sits inside the eye socket and holds the eye in place. That's why birds can't move their eyes. They have to turn their head. Let's just give them a few feathers coming off like so. There we go.
Hi, Aaron and Tim.
Hey, how's it going?
Who's Tim?
Tim? He called you Tim?
Call me Tim.
Tim?
You probably already talked about this topic, but how can I be sure to make an appealing illustration? Are there basic rules to follow?
Yes.
Greets and love your work.
Well, it depends on what you mean by appealing. But there are rules. You can have something that's grotesque and still be appealing. To me, appealing is something that's interesting to look at. And yes, there are rules to it. There's a lot to go into. But it's really, good draftsmanship, good lighting, great composition. All these things add up to something that is appealing. So, I suggest, I've got a course on character design that I talk about that sort of thing. And I believe it's pretty cheap right now. Charlie on YouTube says, I was lucky enough to get into one of your presentations at Lightbox where you demonstrated a wolf. I was not that comfortable with the software, but was so pleased to have completed the wolf. Oh, that's awesome. Man, I loved Lightbox. That was fun. Too bad they're not doing it this year.
Dang it.
But I'm pretty sure they're going to do it next year, in which case we will be there. Faux show.
Me too.
Me too?
Me too.
Yes.
Awesome.
Question for Dustin. What size lens do you use?
Well, depends on what I'm doing. If it's wildlife, I have the Sony 200 to 600 millimeter lens. For portrait stuff, I use a Tamron 28 to 75 millimeter lens. But the one I use the most is the 200-600 for the wildlife. I do a lot of wildlife.
Yes, you do.
Angela,
Instagram question. I beat you to it. Whenever I color lips while drawing portrait, it always results in like putting lipstick over the lips. Are there any tips for picking the right color for lips? Yes, and I know exactly the problem you're talking about. A lot of times it's the lip color that you choose in relation to the rest of the skin on the face. And there's other things to think about too. So let's say I draw a face. I'm going to draw, whoa, there we go. Let's just draw a little face here. Here's his nose. And then lips. Eyebrows. Eyes. Come down to the chin. Ear. Okay, so we've drawn a face. Now we want to focus on the lips. Okay, so a lot of times you want to choose the right color. First of all, in relation to the skin, let's say we have this dude here. But lighting helps too, and this is the point that I want to try to get to real quick. So we throw in some skin color. Let's say, okay, now this is the problem you go to. Well, lips are red, right? Okay, so we got to give them red lips. So let's give them some red lips. Oh man, looks like he has lipstick on, doesn't it? And so that's what we don't want. You don't want that. And so let's undo that. When you look at lips, if you look at my lips or look at Dustin's lips, they're not red. And they're not that different from the skin tone. So let's grab that skin tone. They do show a little bit more flushed color. And they do get a little darker sometimes. So now I'm going to come in here We can go like that, and you can go, well, that still looks like a little bit of lipstick. Well, we can lighten it a little bit. We'll go like that. Now, here's another thing. Now, it might look still like he's got a little bit of lipstick on, but we haven't done the lighting yet. And so if I put, let's do a little multiply. Let's say we have lighting from above. So that lighting is going to cause a shadow under the nose. That nose is going to cast a shadow underneath, like so. Okay? But then the lip, that top lip, is going to be in shadow because that plane is turned away, and it casts a little bit of a shadow onto the lower lip. The lip underneath gets cast into shadow as it comes up and around. And what you'll notice is, as you get your lighting in, and this sort of thing, it starts to feel more unified. That lipstick feeling will start to go away. We'll get light, shadow up in here. That feeling of the, lipstick will start to go away. And then even as you increase this, let's go to highlights. Say there's highlights right here. That starts to also help kind of unify everything, because then you can come in and just ever so slightly hit some of the highlights there. Now you got something that doesn't feel quite so lipsticky. I still think maybe I got them a little dark on those lips. But that's the thing. Don't go so red with it. Don't go super red with it. Make sure you get your lighting right, and all of those things combined will help unify the lips. There you go.
There you go.
YouTube question. Have you ever been to the Museum of the Rockies in Bozeman, Montana? They have some excellent dinosaur exhibits. No, and we've been to Bozeman like 4 times. 3 times.
You have, I haven't. I've been to Bozeman once.
No, you've been there like 5 times.
I was always in it was always in Wyoming. I always went to before. Not yesterday. Last year was Bozeman.
Yesterday? Oh no, wait a minute. It was last year.
Yeah.
That was a Stephen Wright joke. Part of his joke is he's starting to tell this joke, and he goes, a couple weeks ago. No, it was 7 years ago, and he starts telling this joke. It's pretty funny. All right. Or something like that. Some variation of the bastardization that I just did.
Hi, Dustin. Hi. I checked your Instagram, and it is some awesome photos there. There were 2 photos that I really stuck to: the "Hail to the King" and "Take Action." It would be really cool to see Aaron make a drawing of any of those photos. I think that'd be awesome too. But you've already done a couple of drawings based off of my photos.
I have. We could do more. What was "Hail to the King"?
It was this one with the
trifecta
vultures.
That's cool.
And then the "Take Action" one was the one with the of the cormorant flying right by the one. This one.
Yep, I love that.
So those are the ones that he really, really liked. What answer were you just what question were you just answering with the demonstration there?
Oh, it was about lips. They said that whenever they color their lips, when they do portraits, they tend to look like they have lipstick on. And I said, yes, I know exactly that problem.
I have a really hard time while rendering my drawings. My rendered drawings never seem to be better than my rough drawings. Do you have any tips?
Yeah, a lot of times when you render your drawings after the rough drawings have a lot of life and spontaneity in them, and we tend to tighten up and really kind of lose the life in our tied down drawings and our rendered drawings. And so over time, try to adjust your drawing style to be a little bit more spontaneous. Don't When you're rendering, you don't have to chisel. And an example is what I'm doing right now. I've spent years trying to perfect this, but you can see I'm tying down my drawing, but I'm also going pretty spontaneously. I'm going pretty quickly. I've got the anatomy in my head, so I'm not going to sit there and just really kind of chisel it and render it. I already know what I want it to be and what I want it to do. There we go.
Fluffy T-Rex.
He's fluffy.
It's so fluffy, you're gonna die.
Is that from Despicable Me, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
It's so fluffy.
Yeah, that's another Sergio Pablos movie.
Banana.
The guy is a freaking genius.
What is multiply layer do exactly? Like, what does the multiply layer do?
It literally multiplies the color that you have that you're putting down. It'll multiply with the colors underneath so you can see through it. And I use it to create shadows so that you can still see the color underneath, but it's affected by the shadow color that I'm creating on top. And then I paint opaque over the top of that to adjust the shadows even more. There we go. Our little T-Rex. Should we turn it? Oh, no, we shouldn't. No, it's just me talking. Just me thinking out loud.
Angus says, could you say hi to my 4-year-old grandson, James McCartney?
Hey, James McCartney!
He is a big dinosaur fan, and this is very inspirational for him.
Hey, James McCartney. So do you like to draw dinosaurs? When I was your age, James McCartney, I drew a lot of snakes. Lots of snakes. For some reason, I love to draw snakes. And big tractors. I did.
Tractors?
I drew big, like, earth movers. I was fascinated by them.
Tractors and snakes.
Well, not tractors, but earth movers. Like back in the day with the ones where the bottom fell out and all the dirt falls out.
Yeah.
The old, because that's the kind they used back when I was a kid.
Do you feel more comfortable with the dinosaur anatomy now that you have done the Birds of Prey course?
Well, I've already been up on bird anatomy in the past, but yeah, I mean, it definitely doing that. It definitely refreshes my brain, so to speak. So let's see here.
Do you ever have problems with people stealing your work?
No, I never do. How about like that? I think that's a better proportion. What do you think?
Yeah.
I like that better. Now we can focus more on him. And we got his arm poses in there. YouTube question. Hey, Aaron, I'm super new to drawing. Currently doing your anatomy course. Where should I go next? Perspective, etc. I'm really stuck. I would suggest my character design course. I think you'll learn a lot about design and appeal and telling a story through your characters, all of that. I'm going to start with just making him kind of brown. The bigger they get, big animals, they tend to be a little drab. But I know because they are birds, um, we might have some flashes of color. So I'm going to at least start with this, and then we're going to branch out. And we'll add some interesting color. Oops, there we go. Oh no, I know. Yes, I just didn't think we had, Nick. I didn't think we had a huge problem with people trying to steal our stuff. I know that we do have somewhat of a problem, but I just didn't think it was a huge deal. That's why I said no. But Nick was just reminding me that we do have issues with people stealing stuff. But I just felt relative to other outlets, other folks, it wasn't that big a deal. But maybe I'm wrong. See, I'm not on the front lines. I just make the stuff. Nick is on the front lines.
What color do you pick for a multiply layer? I usually use a grayish blue, but I don't know if I'm selecting a wrong color.
No, it depends on what the palette is that you're creating. So there's no set color to use. It depends on if you want to have a warm shadow color or cool shadow color. It depends on what the base color is. You know, I've learned that doing a cool blue over anything that's orange or warm creates a horrible shadow color because it just goes to gray, and you really want some color in there. So usually what I'll do is I'll start with a warm shadow color and then cool it off with opaque paint over the top using the same value, and that tends to help. I should say opaque color, not paint. Yeah, Nick just was saying that it's not too bad, thankfully. The stealing. We actually, I think it's one of the reasons. I think because we price everything so cheaply. I think a lot of people just feel like, well, it's just as easy just to buy it. So.
Hey, Aaron and Dustin.
Hey!
While I'm doing watercolor, I have a hard time simplifying the shapes. I feel overwhelmed with all the details on the reference. Do you have any advice?
Don't get overwhelmed.
Don't do it.
No, you gotta. It's hard discipline, but you gotta really force yourself to find the simple shapes within the complexity. But there's always simpler shapes within the complexity. There always is, and you just gotta find them. And remember, always work from the simple to the complex. And as you work towards the complex, you'll find that you're doing less and less detail. Like, look what I'm doing now. I'm just coloring in a silhouette. There's a lot of detail in there, but right now I'm just working on a single color, just laying in a base tone. Not worried about anything else. This is going to be the color that's going to hold it all together.
How's the progress so far on the Creature Art Teacher app for Android?
Oh, I think we're going to be ready tomorrow, right, Nick?
Really?
No. I have no idea. I know we've got a lot of other irons in the fire, and I know that Steve has been working diligently on it. I just know that he's also been getting pulled from thing to thing, doing the thing.
Doing the thing.
He's getting pulled from thing to thing while doing the thing.
You probably scared Nick there for a second. Probably went,
Arg.
Esther Rogers says, "Hi, I just renewed my year-long subscription. Thank you for the sale price. Looking forward to future courses, and I hope to also attend to your next workshop."
Well, thank you very much. We hope that post-COVID, the world will allow us to do more workshops.
Here's hoping.
Yeah. Because let me go back to some of my textured brushes here. Is it 30, 29, 36? There we go. Well, there's a big delay here on my I don't know what's going on. You know, just because of travel restrictions and everything, it's just the way people are traveling now. We're hoping that people go back to traveling in a post-COVID age, because we'd love to do more workshops for sure.
Hi, Aaron.
How's it going, eh?
How's it going, dear bud? Does your character design course teach how to design these kinds of facial features in different styles? Such as like how you design this dino's face, his eyes, nose, and mouth?
Yes.
The course does cover that?
Yep. I talk about my thinking behind it. Alright, I can't do that anymore. I'm going to jump over to this one.
Don't you ever feel like zooming in or rotating canvas? In my case, I do it like 90% of the time.
Nope. I don't. Because I treat it like I'm drawing at the easel. I really can't do that at the easel. It's just what I'm used to. So here I'm still messing around with local color, finally getting it right. And let's see here. I want to get some color on him from the top. There we go.
What's your color scheme going to be for this guy?
I'm exploring. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm playing opposite colors right now. I'm playing blues and yellow or oranges. I don't know, Jim. The Android app should be out by fall. We have a major revision coming to the iOS app soonish, and then we will be porting things over, hopefully coming to Roku and Amazon around the same time. Well, there you go.
How do you choose your color palette? Do you do it through reference? I think you just answered my question when I was typing.
Yeah. As far as choosing my color palette, I think about, it just depends on what I'm trying to get across, how striking I want it to be. Do I want it to be more unified? Like in this case, I want it to be a little bit more striking, so I'm actually using opposite colors that I know will vibrate. You know, blue and orange are opposite colors, they vibrate. And then I've got this kind of mid color in between that they both can sit on. This brown. And then the feathers Yeah, you want to get that more on you. It's hot in here, isn't it?
It's a little
I can open
toasty.
this up too. Let a little air in. Little air in.
Aaron.
We'll let a little air in.
Hey, Ron.
Hey, Ron.
And were you still answering the question?
No, that's it. Yeah. So it just depends on what the ultimate feel is for what I'm going for. By these feathers, I might do something completely different, really get striking with them. But here, even though I'm using blues and oranges, opposite colors, I'm trying to unify that by having an undercolor, this brown undercolor that kind of unifies both of those together.
And Erica Bay's asking, speaking of dinosaurs, are there still plans to do a Terrell Whitlatch course at Creature Art Teacher in the future?
Yes, we just need to pin her down. She's a very busy lady, and the whole COVID thing has really messed things up for us. But yes, we would definitely like to do that with Ms. Whitlatch. I'm just going to put a little, how about a little red? A little bit of red.
A little bit of red.
Yeah. This is your world. I'm just going to put a little red in there. Here we go.
Hello to the both of you.
Just using my,
How are you doing?
using my pastel C.
Hope things are awesome.
I'm just adding a little
Oh, Aaron, have you ever tried to draw and paint on your phone? You
No.
totally would nail it, but it's kind of funny to think about it.
No, I haven't. So I'm going to make it a little bit more red around the lips. There we go, a little red right there. There we go, yes. Just add a little red right there. You don't have to worry about it, just work it in there. There we go. Let's blow that up so we can see a little better. There. There's no mistakes here. Just happy accidents.
Are you trying to make me fall asleep?
I'm doing Bob Ross, man. I'm channeling my Bob Ross.
Hi. I'm just starting an animation course, and I'm wondering if you have any tips on character turnarounds, like how to get the correct proportions.
When you do a character turnaround, you want to make sure that you understand that character thoroughly in 3D. That's what's going to help in your turnaround. And then also use guidelines. For instance, let's say we have a character. I'm just going to draw a very simple character. Okay, let's say we have this kid. Like so. Okay? He's got hair. Like that. Okay? So there's our kid. Now to start your turnaround, you want to start with your basic views. So here's our front view. Right? Now we want our side view. And so you're going to want to do guidelines across. There's the top of the head. There's the nose. There's the mouth. There's the bottom of the chin. Bottom of the neck. And you want the top of the head right there. You want to use these to guide. Now here's the chin, like so. Now here's the ear. I know we got to draw the guidelines from the ears. You want to use those to guide how you draw the rest of his body. There's the nose. There's his mouth. His eyes. His head's going to come back here like that. His eyes are going to be here. So you want to use all these tools to guide what it is that you're drawing. I mean, all the features, so that if we flip back and forth between these two, you can start to see them turn around. Then you want to do the intermediate, the view, the three-quarter view, and it's the same thing. You start adding, you draw all those lines to guide where you're going to put your features, and you just keep doing that at different views all the way around. Next thing you know, you've got a turnaround, and that is how I do a turnaround.
Nice.
Aaron, what is your favorite dinosaur movie? Oh, my favorite dinosaur movie. It's got to be Jurassic Park.
Oh yeah.
I mean, come on.
Jurassic Park, hands down.
Yeah.
You should do.
Hey, don't
art
tell me what
classes.
to do.
You should do art classes. I'm an artist and just started doing art on an app called Procreate.
I've got an entire app or entire course on my website on using Procreate. So I'm still laying in.
And if you're brand new here, just go over to creatureartteacher.com
Yes.
and you'll find everything you need there.
So I'm going to push some of this blue even bluer. Crystal blue persuasion. Oh. There we go. I like playing these complementary colors.
How do you choose the same coloring? Like same amount of black on all color, or does it even matter? Just trying to figure out how to pick the correct colors to look, make the colors look cohesive.
Well, cohesive, a lot of times you want to use analogous colors. So colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. That will help them feel cohesive. In this case, I used an undertone that was kind of a mixture of the two colors, of the blue and orange. And then I put them in, and then I layered in the blue and orange, so that even though they're opposite colors, it still feels a bit more cohesive. And it's also the amount you use of each color and that sort of thing. So there's there is definitely different things to consider, let's say. So now we got that. Let me. You want to try doing? Cancel. You want to try doing a red feathers
Sure.
against that blue, or purple feathers? Because that'll be kind of cohesive. What do you think? I think that's a great idea, Aaron. Okay, say cool.
Try more like a purple, but like leaning towards pink.
Purple leaning towards pink? Yeah, I think you're right.
Like maybe even like the general feathers being purple, but then like the tips of them being like certain feathers being tipped pink.
You okay? Yeah. Well, if he's got pink feathers, you know what he eats? Crustaceans. You know, pink flamingos aren't born pink. They turn pink because of what they eat.
Hey Dustin. Hey Anissa. Do you have any favorite colors by chance? Green. Green is my favorite color. Someone's asking for fluorescent color feathers. Fluorescent
You mean
feathers.
iridescent, probably. You probably mean iridescent. I need to look at reference in order to do iridescence. It's a tough one. I kind of like that. What do you think, Dustin?
Yeah.
For a base?
It's got this light glaring in my eyes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Nice.
There we go. And then maybe one more thing. Here we go.
There we go. Do you play with transparencies at all?
A little bit, not all the time. I don't thought like that.
Hey, Aaron.
Hey, what?
Have you ever planned in making any workshops internationally? Love your work. Love from Brazil.
Yes, we've done. Actually, we did an international workshop last year. We did one in Manchester, England, at Peckforton Castle.
I keep forgetting that was just last year.
You know,
Feels like so much has already gone on. The color on the chest, is that orange or yellow?
it's kind of an orange, yellow.
So he's actually like literally confused. Like, is this yellow or orange? Somebody tell me. So you say it's orange?
Yellow.
Yellow?
No, orange, yellow.
Dad,
Yellow, orange.
yellow, orange? Like it's orange, but on the yellow side,
There isn't actually a yellow orange, yeah.
there's actually yellow.
Because it's a mixture of the two. I'm not here to make your lives easy. Your lives.
It's like
your
saying,
lives.
it's like saying purple red.
That's red violet.
What software do you use?
I am using Photoshop right now.
What software do you use?
Photoshop right now.
What is this app that you're currently drawing with?
I'm drawing with Photoshop right now.
Did you enjoy Coraline? The movie Coraline?
A little bit. It wasn't. I love stop motion and I love Leica. Coraline was a little dark for my tastes. But I love what they do.
Do you see Procreate being just as professional, widely used as Photoshop? It's hard to make money in this business, so what's your advice on the best way to market one's art?
Well, you gotta pull together the best portfolio that you can, obviously, right? And then it's getting out there, being seen, having a big, which is completely new for me as an old guy in this business, but having a big social media presence as far as your artwork goes, Instagram. What are some of the other Deviant Art and all those types of things? Those are areas that studios look at now, and being consistent, putting stuff out there on a regular basis. You guys, if you've probably noticed, I'm trying to always create. I do it anyway, but I'm always trying to create, put something new out there, just so I have a presence. What do you think about the stripes? You
I
like
like
them?
it.
You like them?
Yeah. The person that was asking about the fluorescent feathers,
Yeah.
he meant to say bioluminescence in the feathers.
Oh, bioluminescence.
I think
That could be kind of cool.
He was
Yeah.
thinking of.
Maybe.
Are you thinking in making a drawing fundamentals course? I know that Proco is making one right now, but it would be nice to see one from you.
Actually, Ronnie Williford is creating one right now. He's been working on it for several months, and it'll be coming out soon. Ronnie Williford is on our site. He's done a course on painting and a course on color.
Got a heads up from Nick over here. Says we are having some technical issues with the site, so the deep thoughts might be gone. Just for a heads up.
Okay. YouTube question: can you get remote work for AAA top tier projects without AAA experience? Probably not. Probably not. You're going to need that experience in order to get the work. Just to be completely upfront with you.
What computer do you use?
I'm using a Mac Pro. big cylinder, and we are currently. I'm going to be upgrading to a new Mac Pro very soon.
Yeah, because your current Mac Pro, like, you got that one back in, what, 2018?
Yeah, something like that.
It was like right around the time when I first started.
I was saying, was it 17?
I believe so, because I came in late 2016. So yeah, so like early 2017. So I think that's like the 2017 model, 2016 model Mac Pro.
Yeah. So I'm just putting shadows in now. I've got a multiply layer going. I'm thinking of the light coming from the left side.
Do you ever use Autodesk Sketchbook?
No. Never used it. There's a lot of software I haven't tried yet. So here, what I want to do, I want to get rid of that shadow.
Are there any artists you recommend us learning from who use Procreate well?
Well, I've got a Procreate course. I don't, to be honest with you, I don't know who to look at for Procreate. I use it quite a bit, but I'm not out there looking to see who else is using it. If you go to creatureartteacher.com, I've got pretty extensive course on not just how to paint in it, but also how to animate in it, and a few other things. Things.
Do you have any tips on how to grow your Instagram?
You know, it's consistency. It's getting out there and really being consistent with how often you post. In the beginning, I was trying to post every day, and
that's what I'm currently doing.
Yeah, try to post every day, and then also, you know, every once in a while, someone big will come along and see it and like it, and they'll share it. You know, so in the early days, I had that happen to me a couple of times, which really helped me out. And now we're up to over 400,000 followers on Instagram, and we're able to help other people now. But it's really a matter of consistency.
And also using hashtags that are related to the artwork as well definitely helps as well.
Yeah.
Like with my photos each time, like I have at least a good 10 to 15 different hashtags all tagged in there all at once, from like different hashtags of Sony Alpha, because it's the camera I use.
I think you can go a little hashtag crazy, and not saying you are, Dustin, but you don't have to go too crazy with it.
Yeah, I've seen posts where it's just like 50 hashtags.
Yeah.
50 long. But I think I have like I usually use like a minimum 10. But it definitely does help to get yourself out there to different like hashtag communities.
Yeah. So right now I'm just adding little shadows here, and we're going to do the typical shadow because I want to keep the attention up on the head. I'm going to do the typical Aaron Blaise shadow. Oops, I got boat tree calling. I got to answer this.
All right.
Hello.
Well, I guess it's to me now.
Yes, hi.
And actually, while we're here, is the person that asked about what lens I use still here? Because if so, I can actually show you right here the camera gear that I use since I got you guys here for now. But oh, never mind. Guess she's coming back.
I'm back. Yeah, I was worried about that. We took our boat out the other day, and I wanted the marina to pull the boat out. But they didn't answer the phone, and it went to voicemail, and so we left the voicemail to have them pull the boat out of the water. And then they just called me saying, and this is 2 days ago, they just called me saying, hey, would you like us to pull the boat out of the water? So I said, oh, you obviously didn't get my message.
Yeah, that's obvious right there.
So my boat's been sitting in the water for the last 3 days.
Oh, that's not good.
No. It's no bueno, eh?
Oh, bueno.
No bueno.
No bueno.
So I'm just putting them all in shadow. Downhill. He's stepping out of the shadows.
What would you say is the best part about your job?
The best part of waking up. I think it's the Folgers in my cup.
Folders in your cup.
Yeah. No, the best part of my job, look at what I'm doing right now. I'm drawing cartoon dinosaurs. How much better can that be? I'm drawing cartoon dinosaurs just because I feel like it. That's the best part of my job. I can draw whatever I want just because I feel like it. But it's taken me 35 years to get to where I can do this. You know, after spending 35 years working like this. Oh, I like that. I'm digging this dinosaur. I'm so glad I took that suggestion. So now I'm going to do overlay, which kind of does the opposite of multiply. Want to do a cool light, like a blue light?
Ooh.
Want to see what that looks like?
Yeah, let's give it a try.
Almost like moonlight.
I noticed that you don't use a lot of the lasso tool. Do you think it's better to avoid the lasso tool, or you don't use lasso tool for personal choice?
It's just personal. I've never started using it. I have a great friend, Armand Serrano, who you guys should look up if you don't know him already. Armand uses the lasso tool all the time. He's really good at it. He does entire illustrations just with his lasso tool. Armand and I worked at Disney. He was in layout, so he helped design the stages, basically, where all the characters acted. That's what layout does, and the camera work and the compositions for all the shots. And I've been able. Armand is from the Philippines, and so he's had me over to the Philippines a couple times, speaking at Icon Manila in Manila, Philippines, where last few years he's started this conference that we do for relief, for typhoon relief, because poor Manila gets pounded by typhoons every year, and so they're in desperate need of rebuilding homes and things like that each year. And so Armand and his wife Bing, who, they've just got incredibly huge hearts, started doing this and raising money for typhoon relief. And I just love that. And so I've gone over twice to speak, and I just really enjoy it. So if you don't know Armand Serrano, look him up. You'll be glad you did. He's a great teacher. And we're going to be getting him to come over and do some work for us as well, do some courses with us.
How are you doing the shadow?
I did that with the multiply blend mode. And right now I'm doing the highlights with the overlay blend mode. And then I'll go in with an opaque layer on top. And I'll refine it even more.
Dustin, have you got any new camera equipment since March? Uh, Towards the end of March, I got a brand new camera, the Sony A9 Mark II, and then just what was it, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, just ordered a new laptop that I can use to photo and video edit on the go, which I'm very very excited for.
We are too. Oh, I just lost a question.
Uh-oh.
There's something about Dustin up there.
Do you have any favorite colors to work with?
Me?
Yes.
Not really. I mean, it's whatever it is I'm creating. I for some reason I used to really love violet and yellow. Those opposite colors, using them in light and shadow, and I like to do blue and orange as well. So you can see that I've got a little bit of that going on right here.
Dustin, what gear do you use?
Third gear?
Third gear.
Yeah, fourth gear.
I think on the left bar I use I usually go with a 2, and then on the right I use a 5. No, but my
oh,
five.
Dustin, do you have another job as well as creature art teacher? Anyway, go ahead. Mention that later.
Just saying, mind if I switch the camera just so I can show them this?
Sure.
Cool. Yeah, so the camera gear that I use for the wildlife photography, so this is the main source of it all. This is the Sony A9 Mark II, and I just got this late March, like early April, and so that is my current workhorse. And mixed in with that, I've had since the new year, and it's the Sony 200 to 600 millimeter lens at 5.6 to 6.3 aperture, and it is the backbone of everything that I do, and I absolutely love this thing. And the other question is, do I do anything else in creature art teacher?
No, outside of creature art teacher, do you have another job?
Well, unless you consider wildlife photography as a job.
Sure, man.
Yeah, I mean, outside of work, I do all the wildlife photography that I post on Instagram, and once I get enough photos together, I make reference packs to put on creature art teacher.
Right on.
So I guess you could say I'm sort of a, what would you call that? Freelance? Not freelance.
Yeah, I mean,
a freelance wildlife photographer?
Not really freelance, but you're I'd say you're a professional because you're getting paid for it now.
Yay.
So I'm going through and just adding a little bit of color in this background now. I want to keep it a simple background like I usually do with my character images. And I'm going warm with it because I want to go opposite of the blue that I have in here. I'm going to go a little darker when we go down low.
What do you think multiply and overlay are based from, if they were a real thing?
I'm not sure. If they were a real thing. Well, it's sort of like using gels. Putting gels over.
Just download the Procreate course, and it's weird to see Aaron with hair again.
Yeah, it's growing back. I'm going to grow it back. I don't know if I'm going all the way back to the ponytail stage, but I'm definitely growing it back. Whoa, whoa, easy, cowboy. There we go. Here we go.
Here we go.
Facebook question: with both the multiply and overlay, are you using 100% opacity? I am, but not on my brush. The layer I am, but not on my brush. I'm keeping the pressure sensitivity on so I can be very kind of delicate with it.
Hi, Aaron.
Hey, how's it going, eh?
How's it going, dear bud? Do you stick to one color or tone for the overlay and multiply layers? And how are the colors for the two layers connected? For example, are they the same or opposite colors?
They're usually, I try to go opposite a lot of times. Like I did today, I did warm shadows and cool light. And here's the effect I'm getting. So, I love that. Nick just put out a gif of
Nicholas Cage.
Nick Cage in,
with the hair.
Yeah, with the hair.
Put the bunny back in the box. Con Air.
Yeah, it's Con Air. Nick says, "Hooray!" What's that in response to? Did I miss something? I must have missed something. YouTube comment. Today's
I
children's
think
book.
I think all the issues on the website are
fixed. All right. So now I've done. So what I've done here is I've used. Let's just recap what I've done so far in this illustration. I started with a rough drawing, tied it down, laid down the local color, which is that flat color with the different variations. But then we started adding the light. So I created a multiply layer to paint in the shadows. I used a warm color for the shadows, and then I created an overlay layer for the highlights, and that's what I used the cool for. Oh, I missed the shadow here on his other arm. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an overlay. Not an overlay, what am I saying? I'm creating a normal layer, no blend mode chosen, just normal blend mode. And now I'm going to start adding the details. And this is where I'm going to draw on top of the regular drawing as well. And at this stage as well, a lot of times I will add patterns. Textures, if I need them. Today I'm not sure if I'm going to add textures or not. We'll see.
What's one major shadowing and or highlighting mistake you often see?
Inconsistent light source. That's something I see a lot. Oops.
Would love to see you paint a saltwater theme like a tarpon or a school of redfish.
That's a great idea. That sounds like a southern boy right there.
Have you ever been to South Africa?
Never been to South Africa. I've only been to Kenya and Tanzania.
Which I would love to go to.
Yeah. We almost had an opportunity to go to South Africa, to an animation festival in Cape Town, but it fell through. Funding wasn't there. Oh, hooray, growing back hair. That's why you said hooray. groups.
I've been watching your streams for a while, and it has hugely changed how you use color in my work. I know you're not a fan of vector art, but mine has improved so much thanks to your techniques.
Oh, that's
Thank you.
great. I'm glad.
I'm confused.
Hold on, sorry. YouTube comment. Today's children's books are often filled with oversaturated colors and garish character designs. Are there any children's books, children's book illustrators that you admire? Yeah, the only one I can think of is, and I'm drawing a blank. Oh my gosh, who did the Polar Express? And come on, help me out. I know there's someone out there that knows what I'm talking about.
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks started it. No, but the original children's book. I can't remember the artist's name. Nick will get it. He always does.
There's a reason why I have a laptop here. Chris Van Allsburg.
Thank you. Chris Van Allsburg. Probably my favorite children's book illustrator. So what I'm doing is going into a lot of these areas, adding reflected light, darker shadows, brighter highlights, and it just gives it more life, as you can see here. And as planes change, the light is going to change. Like this lip, it's going to catch a little bit more light as it faces upward, at least in this version.
I'm confused on what the multiply is for. Can you explain that?
Multiply I use for shadows. You can use it for any number of things. What it does is it literally multiplies with the colors that you lay down. The colors that are already there, it multiplies them. Quite literally.
Quite literally. Do you know the art of Guy Harvey?
Yes. Great fish artist. He's made a mint here in Florida. Yeah, Guy Harvey's an awesome artist. Very smart businessman. Really, I admire him a lot. And very much into conservation, which I really admire.
Is it just me, or when you were younger, Barney gave me nightmares? Barney the purple dinosaur.
That was Dustin. That's Dustin's generation right there.
Oh, I loved Barney back then.
I know you did.
I love you, you love me, we're a happy family. Gentlemen, I understand your position you made at the beginning of this live stream. I applaud your position. I thought I heard you say that you intend to attend a protest. If so, please be safe.
Oh yes. I'm a protester, not a rioter. So the lighting, I'm kind of liking how this lighting is coming out on this guy. What I'm doing is I'm constantly going back and forth, grabbing that local color that's laying down there, and then I warm it up and brighten it, and that's how I'm choosing the highlight that I'm putting down.
Are there art skills as an animator that you would struggle to learn elsewhere in the art industry?
I think it would be just the act of animation, to see the movement and make that work. See that? Bug is bugging me. That
That bug.
that bug.
The greatest bug of the century. Would you recommend any good art colleges? My 12-year-old has her heart set on RISD,
RISD, Rhode Island School of Art and Design.
but it's so competitive and expensive.
They all are. All the art schools are expensive and competitive. And I think they're overpriced, to be honest with you. But it's a hard answer. It's hard for me to answer because I am really disgusted with how expensive art schools have gotten and how in debt art students become while attending these schools. And it really depends on your student, you know, how well they can learn, because there's so much information out there that can be had for free or for very cheap online. And I'm not plugging myself, but I do think of myself as an example, along with schoolism, along with I'm drawing a blank, but there's a lot of other places out there that can teach. Now, what you're giving up by learning online is that camaraderie that you have when you go to school, and I grew from that. But at the same time, you know, when a school is costing $45 or $50 or $55,000 to go to a year, maybe that's, you know, it's okay to give that up. So no, there's not any particular school that I recommend right now because of that price. I would keep it a major school if you decide to go. But also, you know, I think you want a school where the instructors are still part of the, still in the field, working, up on the, you know, what's going on. What's going on? So let's do some reflected light over on the other side here. All right, let's see here. Let's grab that.
Which other child series gave you the creeps? I don't think, was there any that gave me the creeps back then?
For you?
Yeah.
Well, I remember when we used to go to the movies, the film strip man used to scare the crap out of you.
Well, I don't think it was that it scared me, it was just so loud.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't like loud noises.
It wasn't until I was 6 or 8
Yeah.
when I started getting used to movie theater, like level noise.
Yeah.
Because I would plug my ears at the very beginning, and by like halfway through the movie, I would have my ear. I would not anymore, because at that point my ear, like, I would be used to that level of hearing.
Yeah.
But before that, it would just be so loud all of a sudden that I would just freak out.
Yeah, it did used to freak you out. I felt so bad. Poor little guy.
So I always had to plug my ears so that way I can just gradually get into it. But
So here I'm adding a little bit of reflected light coming off from that background.
how do you warm up the color?
Well, I'm kind of doing that right now. There are warm colors, And there are cool colors. And so when you're warming up a color, you're using a warm color to do it.
What do you think is one of the most difficult things to draw? And is there anything you don't like to draw?
I don't like drawing gore. How's that?
Gore, like broken bones or blood?
Yeah, just gross stuff.
Is there anything you find difficult to draw?
Not really. I mean, you just have to. For me, it's just understanding what it is that you are drawing.
And I think the goriest thing I've seen you draw as of recently was, what was it, last year?
That
The year
Halloween
before?
bear.
Yeah, that undead bear.
Yeah. That was kind of fun, actually.
That was pretty cool.
That's cool, man.
That was pretty cool, bro.
Twitch question. Your paintings are really inspiring. Would it be okay if I did a sculpture using one of your drawings as reference, crediting your original image, of course? Yeah, sure, man. Or gal. Yeah, sure, man.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure, dear mate.
So I'm just hitting the highlights on these teeths, these toothuses.
Do you think there's an age limit for someone to get an entry level job in the animation industry?
No, not really. No. Just if you can do it, you got to be the best. You know?
Hi, Aaron.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Do you use the outline? Like, do you add color over the outline? Then draw
Yes.
again the outline in order to still see it?
No, I'm working right over the outline right now, actually. Adding texture.
What is the name of the brush you use, and in which brush pack do you have it?
This is my Pastel 7 C. Right here. Pastel C. It's brush number 7 in my first custom brush pack on my website, creatureartteacher.com.
Can you do scales, please?
La 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 la.
La 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 la.
Oh, you didn't mean those scales. Oh.
The reptile scales.
Yeah, let's see. I've got some brushes that I made to do textures. I don't know if I'm going to do actual scales today. I might do something. I'm digging this guy. I'm digging him.
You digging this guy?
Yeah, man. Switch it around a little bit. Let's draw this way for a little while, just to see it a little bit differently. I think we can have some fun with this reflected light here. Arg.
Dustin, my daughter hates loud noises too. Nothing really scares her at all, but she hates anything loud. I was the same way when I was little. The exact same way. I didn't get over loud noises until
Loud noises!
loud noises until I was like what, 8, 10,
25.
25. No, that was concerts.
Yeah. Remember you and I went to that Hanson concert
Oh God.
with your sister. His sister wanted to see Hanson, and there was so many screaming girls. Poor Dustin and I were sitting there, and
We just look at each other.
his mom turned to me and my wife, and she said, "Do you guys want to go home?" And Dustin was just sitting there, just miserable. He said, "Yes." So I took Dustin home, and she stayed with Austin.
Yeah, when you don't like loud noises,
And you're at the decibel level of those screaming girls. All you
It's
could
like-
hear was static.
yeah. I'm pretty sure that's where I got my case of tinnitus.
Yeah. Just ringing in your ears.
Oh yeah. I would get that in in the most random times. I could be working on the computer, and all of a sudden,
Yeah, I know. I get that sometimes.
in one ear.
Yeah.
It was just like I could be laying in bed about to go to sleep. Like, leave me alone. Or just do what they do in Naruto whenever they get tinnitus. Mom.
Do what?
Like they hold their ears and they just go mom, because they're trying to hear themselves.
Oh. Who does that?
It's in the show Archer,
Oh.
the spy show.
Yeah. YouTube question. Hey Aaron, I've recently rewatched Brother Bear, and it got me thinking. Since you've based the film off Native American mythology, what tales were the basis, or what books did you use as reference, as research? There's actually there's quite a few books that we used. Got a couple of them up here actually. They're mixed all over the place. I can't remember their titles. But we didn't use a particular myth as reference. There's a lot of transformation myths. There's a lot of myths stories that involve bears as well. The natives really did see themselves as brothers to the bears. Bears, to a lot of Native Americans, bears were just people in bear clothing. They literally felt that when bears went home, they took their bear clothes off and they were people. It's kind of neat. But what we did was try to get a sense of, like, the flavor of, through the research of what a native myth felt like, and then we tried to create our own. And so that was the inspiration, how we did that for Brother Bear. And one of the reasons we set the movie during the Ice Age is that their culture back then, is just speculative rather than a modern native culture that we know now. So that enabled us to kind of create our own mythology. I want to get rid of some of these excess lines.
What's your favorite dinosaur? Mine is a Utah raptor or an Acrocanthosaurus.
That sounds awesome.
I don't know those ones.
I don't know if I said that right.
I don't know if I said that right. Help me. No, but my personal favorite has always been the Stegosaurus.
Yeah, that's an old dinosaur. That was long before the T-Rexes and all that.
Still one of my favorites. What about yours?
I always like Triceratops.
That's not a good one.
Yeah, I always thought they were super cool. Another good one. Yeah, I like that one.
Could you do a video on anatomy?
I've got an entire course. As a matter of fact, it's one of my best-selling courses on anatomy on my website. CreatureArtTeacher.com.
Right there.
Yeah, check it out. It's go to CreatureArtTeacher.com and look up my anatomy course. It's really thorough.
I have trouble going from lines to portraying shapes with just light and shadows. Do you have any tips?
Think about value, meaning your light and dark structure, and then temperature. You know, this is what that's what I'm doing here now, is I'm paying attention to value and temperature. Then I think about bounced light, and that's what I'm doing here, is adding some bounced light in the shadows. It takes time. You gotta look at real life and observe it and see how it works. What's your feeling about being called talented as a professional? As such professional animator, do you ever feel like it can be harmful? No. I think a lot of people get bent out of shape about the word talented. But it's just people that people are trying to compliment you. They don't understand that, you know, talent doesn't really exist. In my mind, it's talent is always trumped by hard work. You can have someone that may have had a predisposition to art as a youngster, but never developed it. And then you have someone else that really didn't have a predisposition to it, but loved it so much and worked at it every single day, and they became great artists. So hard work always trumps so-called talent.
My 12-year-old is getting super frustrated that your T-Rex is coming out better than hers. She gets so mad hers doesn't look as good. I shouldn't laugh, but I do.
Well, she can't. Tell her not to compare. I've been doing this. She's 12 years old, so I've been doing this over 4 times longer than she's been alive. Tell her that.
But with enough hard work and enough focus, you can get to this level.
Yep.
Remember the Fantasia dinosaurs? Those were epic.
Yeah, they were.
I remember those. I think that's where I fell in love with the Stegosaurus, because the Stegosaurus fought off the T-Rex in them.
And Zachary.
Exactly.
Oh, let's see. I'm gonna throw a layer on here. I'm gonna go down to my other brush that I designed. Where is it? This. I've got scales. This one.
Erica Bay says, "Have a good day and be safe."
Thanks, Erica.
See you next time.
I do kind of like that. Although I'm going to jump over to this one and see what that looks like. Nope. Nope. It's this one.
Do you suggest having a portfolio consisting of rough animation loops if applying for a rough animation post, or cleaned out animations for a finished look?
Rough. Always.
Rough.
So here I'm just adding some very light patterning. The force will be with you. Always. If you look, you can see I've got some very light patterning on here. that. Don't overdo it, Aaron. Don't overdo it.
The person with the 12-year-old girl. We have a whole sketchbook where she only does the live stream drawings. And she has a big old picture of you and Dustin on it. It's not weird or anything.
That's cool.
Adorable.
I love it.
Keep it up.
What's her name?
What is her name?
We can say her name.
Do you think a dinosaur would use a claw reacher?
What's that? So what?
Do you think a dinosaur would use a claw reacher?
A claw reacher?
Like
a scratch.
Like a back scratcher? Emma Rose is her name.
Hey, Emma Rose. I am so glad that you draw along with us. So keep it up. I love it. And don't get frustrated, because drawing takes time. And you are part of the generation that expects everything to happen now. Not your fault. Growing up with instant access on your internet and instant access on the phone. Everything's instant. But the problem with art, well, it's not the problem. Actually, I think it's the beauty of art, is that it's a lifetime of learning. And you, as a 12-year-old, have your entire life ahead of you to become a better artist. And you will. And whether you're sitting there doing live streams with me or learning from other artists, you're going to learn things along the way throughout your life that are going to contribute to you being a better artist. So just keep doing what you're doing, and most of all, don't get frustrated. Enjoy it. Art's meant to be fun. So have fun doing it. Emma Rose, right?
Yes.
Emma Rose. Beautiful name.
She says that Emma went, oh my gosh, he said my name.
I did.
And Kendra Williford says, I celebrate 30 years on planet Earth on the 8th.
Right on, Kendra Williford.
Can we share vodka cranberries soon?
You youngster.
Youngster.
You youngster. You whippersnapper.
You whippersnapper. Yeah, my time will be coming in September.
Yeah. Well, I'm almost there. Done here, I mean.
Almost there. Almost done. For the patterning, what layer mode are you using?
I'm just regular. That patterning was, it's just a brush that I have. I created that brush for a mermaid illustration that we did a while back. That was a fun one to... I like the pattern that brush creates.
What dinosaur would you want to be?
I don't know. I said before, I like Triceratops. I don't know if I want to be a Triceratops. Probably, what are the big ones? The Brontosaurus or the whatever they're called now. Massive.
Or Triceratops is pretty big.
Or any of the flying dinosaurs. Triceratops is what, the size of like a rhino?
Give or take.
Volkswagen. A Volkswagen? There.
I probably want to be a T-Rex.
Yeah.
Because at that point, nobody would want to mess with me.
Top of the food chain.
Top of the food chain.
Just finishing up some last little details here.
Do you think that tragedy and hardship makes you a better artist?
Depends on how you're able to funnel that. I do think it gives you fuel. Um, the hard times that I've had in my life has given me fuel to create. It's given me something to say. It's given me something to comment on. Um, it really is the thing that creates the tapestry of your life. That is you.
Everybody's saying their birthdays. Saying it's gonna be 50 in August. Another person saying it's gonna be 30 on July. Oh, on July 4th.
Right on.
Right on.
Right
Double
on,
party.
Right on. Right on.
Emma
right
turned
on.
12 Friday, and I'm not looking forward to 31, which is in October for her. And her grandma will be 95 on Halloween.
Wow.
Holy moly.
That's awesome.
And the resource artist says his birthday's on September 9th. What coincidence, because mine is just a few days after that.
September 16th.
September 16th.
There you go.
Would you ever try a T-Rex with muscular arms? Could be interesting, tiny muscles.
Tiny muscles
Tiny muscles. Ripped.
in the sea. There we go.
How do you create brushes? Would you make a course about that?
How do I create brushes?
Yes. That's in your
It's in
Photoshop
it's
course.
in my digital painting course from Photoshop. Yeah. Got a whole section on how to create brushes. There we go. Well, I think that's about it, folks. Except for one more thing.
There it is.
Got to do one more thing.
There's always
One more thing.
One more thing.
The force will be with you always. Okay, let's see here.
Do
Now,
the
do
thing.
you want to do depth of field on this? You think?
Depth.
Depth of field?
The depth of field?
Yeah, I think this is fine. I do want to try something.
That looks spectacular.
What am I doing? Merge group. There it is. So let's do this. Let's push the saturation a touch. Just a touch.
You should have a feather stuck on his nose and he can't wipe it off with his tiny arms.
That was fun drawing a dinosaur.
Yeah. We need to do more like this.
Yeah. Let's try burning in a little area. I want to see if that's going to look okay. Not sure I'm going to need it, but let's just try it.
I'm trying to register on your app,
Color dodge.
but when I put in my email, it says it's a duplicate. Won't let me register because it says it's a duplicate. Can y'all help me with this?
If you email support at creatureartteacher.com, they'll be able to help you. Nick and the gang that we have will be able to help you.
Nick, fix the thing.
So I'm going through right now.
Hi, love your work.
Thank you.
What would you say is the most common mistake young animators commit when they get their first jobs?
They freeze up a lot of times.
They get like super nervous.
Yeah, they have a hard time letting the work go. You gotta let it go. Let it go. Let it go.
And be open to learn. And,
Yeah.
And be willing to receive knowledge from others that are willing to help.
Well, take criticism. Be able to take
criticism too. Yeah. Take criticism in a positive way, and be open to learn new things.
Yeah. Because the cold never bothered me anyway.
Dustin, please do an impression of a T-Rex trying to blow feather off his nose with all of his teeth in the way. With all of his teeth in the way. I don't know how I would
I think it's a little daffy. You got to get a little daffy in there.
This stupid feather! How do I know you stupid little feather?
There we go. Getting a little bit of reflected light and glowing light in here.
Yeah, he just go trying to blow it off.
Exactly.
Over a dinosaur is more like
Yeah.
How many layers do you end up with after a painting like this? 7.
Usually about it's. I just compressed everything down to one layer here, but before I did, it was about 10 layers.
Is concept art a legitimate career?
Yeah.
I think that's what my daughter leans towards, but she says animation because that's what people always talk about.
No, concept art is definitely a legitimate career. Absolutely. There we go. There's our dinosaur for today. It was fun. Oh, you know what we didn't do? Save it.
No.
Oh no, I did save it. That's right.
Save your work.
Yeah, it's already been saved.
Rabbit season.
Were there any difficulties when you helped make Pocahontas? Yeah, I mean, every movie has its own set of difficulties and challenges and everything else. I think with Pocahontas, it was a very subtle film. The acting was meant to be very, very contained and held back, and we had a lot of live action reference that we shot as well that the directors wanted us to follow. And so that was a challenge in getting it to just feel natural. And you know, as animators, we tend to want to express through the acting a little bit more than what we were able to do in Pocahontas. But I do think there's a lot of beauty in that held back approach. I thought that was, you know, it was interesting. So yeah, so that was one of the bigger challenges. Ivan on YouTube asks, I kind of want to hear him expand on letting the work go. Like, what do you mean exactly? Like being a perfectionist? Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You don't have to be a perfectionist. You got to let it go, because there's definitely a balance between. Because I'm never an advocate for good enough, but I'm definitely an advocate for. At some point, it's going to work very well in the movie. You got to really weigh out where does this sit in the film, how important of a shot is it, and the reason I say these things is because, you know, someone is paying you by the hour to sit there and animate, and if it costs them a lot more money because you're not getting work out, then you're not going to end up staying there very long. And so there's a balance that you have to strike between good enough and not. And there's other, you know, then there's going to be times where you have to, you know, really spend some time on a shot because it really requires it. But I knew guys that really just didn't know how to let those shots go, and they were so slow. They didn't get very much work done because of that, and they ended up losing out. They lost their jobs a lot of times.
I've had an experience like that.
Yeah.
It's all about, like I said before, it's all about. If you're struggling, don't be afraid to ask for help. And it's also about finding that balance between quality and quantity.
Yeah.
There shouldn't. Once you find the right balance, it wouldn't be one over the other. It'll be a nice balance.
Yeah.
And once you find that balance, you'll be solid.
Well, there we go. It is signed, sealed, delivered. There's our dinosaur. Thank you for the suggestion, whoever suggested it. That was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed making this guy today. I'm happy with the colors. He was fun to come up with. Let me blow him up a little bit so you can see him a little better. We've got some reflected light in there, secondary light source, and some fun patterning. So there you go. So remember, going back to what I was talking about when I first started the stream, we as artists have voices that are unique because we can create images that can make people think, see the world in different ways, and if you have that ability, I almost feel like it's your responsibility, your social responsibility, to take those thoughts and translate them into thought-provoking imagery that that you can possibly change the world with. You know, being an artist is a powerful thing, and governments know that, and that's why a lot of times in times past, artists were persecuted, they were jailed, because of their ability to sway people one way or the other. And we are living in a time where we have that ability, not so much to sway people, but to put forth an idea. Whether it's you agree with the ideas or not is not, to me, as important as putting your thoughts out there in the medium that we work in, which is art, and in creating thought-provoking images. Not that this dinosaur is very thought-provoking, but he was a lot of fun to make. But so that's my thoughts on that. And so when we're done here today, I'm going to be going and creating another image based on some of the social unrest that's going on right now. And then we're going to a little march later on today. So I hope you guys have a wonderful week. I want you to stay safe. And stay up on what's going on. I think it's our responsibility. So many people say, oh, I just don't like the news. Well, you know what? We're living in a time where we should be involved and we should be listening to what's going on. It's my personal opinion, so you don't have to agree with me, but I really do feel like, you know, you can't be silent. You have to have an opinion. And the best way to have an opinion is to be educated on what's going on. So do it. And until next week, well, not next week, until Friday.
Till Friday.
Yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Stay safe. Put some beauty back in the world. Put something thought-provoking back into the world. Your art can change the world. And until then, I will see you next week, or on Friday. At 1 p.m.
You keep saying next week.
I know. And also remember, we've got a lot of great deals for everyone that's still out of work, sitting at home. Everything is still, my animation course is still free. Everything is knocked down to $1. So we want to make sure that you guys are being treated right as well in your education. And so come on over to Creature Art Teacher, and we've got a lot of great deals for you that will help you if you're stuck at home. And like I said before, I want you to come out of this better than you were going into it. And if you can learn something along the way, then so be it. So there you go. I'll talk to you on Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. As always, have a great week. Put some beauty back into the world. And Dustin, take it away.
Guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Glad you guys enjoyed this stream. And if you're interested in any wildlife photography, you can check out my Instagram at Dustin_Blaise. I post a new photo of wildlife up there every day, or at least I try to. Again, at Dustin_Blaise. And I also, as of last 2 weeks ago, I also got a wildlife reference pack. Wrong button there. And over 600 wildlife reference photos available on creatureartteacher.com. And so if you want to get any reference photos to create some paintings you can sell or share online or anything of that sort, just practice with, they'll be there available for anyone that wants to use that. So thank you guys once again for all that, and I really hope you guys enjoy all that sort of stuff. We'll see you guys Friday, and until then, be safe. Stay indoors, only go outside when need to, and until we see you again, Cowboy Bebop. See ya.